Hi everyone, I'm going to show you now, I'm going to do a series of miniatures. So I'm going to show you now how to do the Gothic Wand. I hope you can see that. They're fun to make, and I just think they look fab. When you get them on a project, they actually look fab. So I'm going to show you how to do them, and they're very simple. What you're going to need is either wire or stick pin. If you want wire, you're going to have to use wire that is fairly stiff, and you're going to need a flexible wire. Now I have this one. I don't know what gauge it is. I bought it in the garden place, but you know, you can bend it, so it's great. But then you need another wire, but I use stick pins. They're just as good. So take a stick pin. Now I'm going to take this end off. Excuse me. Okay, and these are a little bit tricky to get off, but I'm going to do it. Aim it away from me. Let me just get this off. See, I lost the pin. It shot off. Oh, come on. This is why you've got to be careful. You need a really decent pair of pliers. Okay, so I'm just going to get this out and start again. I'll keep hold of it this time. I don't know where the hell that went, but it's gone somewhere. Right, here we go. So I don't want that one on, unless you've got a glass beaded one. But I didn't have one. Now what I'm going to do is, first of all I'm going to put the wire on. Now you take the wire, and you need a pair of pincers. You grab the two at the end. Oops, a daisy. Grab the two at the end, like that, and you squeeze really, really tight. You're supposed to. Wait a minute. Grab the pin, okay? You want it with the point facing away from you. You know, just grabbing where you've taken it off from there. And then hook your thumb onto the wire and wind it on. Do it as tight as you can. But you need a little gap between. Oh, sorry, I hope I'm showing you. You hook the wire onto your thumb there, over the bar of the pincers, and then wind it on as tightly as you can, so that it doesn't come off. It doesn't have to be perfectly spaced out or anything like that. So I hope you're seeing that. And just keep winding that on to the end. And then what you need to do is snip it off at the end, like that. So you're left with that, okay? Now what I do is I push that up and take that off as near as the pin as possible. And then I take my bead. I can make sure that fits in there. I might need to squash it together a little bit to flatten it out a bit more. Like that. Just flatten it down as best you can. And you do need to use beads with you know, a decent hole in. Now you need to use glossy accents. I haven't got time to do that. So I'm just using hot glue for now. But you need to glue it on with a decent glue. And then you need to get like a spacer bead, and I've got these metal ones. They're great for this sort of thing because they've already got filigree patterns on. And slot that in. Let me just make sure I can get that on. Yeah, they've got to have a decent size hole. And then what you do is you just glue that onto the end. Oops. Glue it onto the end like that. Take any excess off it, and straight away you've already got like a wand. Now you can leave it that shape if you want, but I generally tend to bend mine just to make them a little bit more, you know, skew-whiffy and gothic-y type of thing. So but for now I'm just going to leave mine straight. Now what you do, you take some tissue, take a square of tissue or whatever it is you've got. You need some Mod Podge. And just clear a space to put it on. You need a brush, and you paint the glue on to your, hope you're seeing this, you paint it on just like like that. I'm just going to lean my brush in there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've painted it on, and then all I do, fit it on the end, like that, and just roll. Now, I know I'm not going to need all of that, of course, so I'm just cutting some off. You can cut them in strips to start with. Take the glue, make sure that's pressed on. So I hope you're seeing this. A little bit more glue in there and roll it. Now you need to roll it 2 or 3 times. Like that. Okay. Let me rest my brush somewhere so it doesn't... Like that. And then what you do is you just take off the excess. And then you have to roll it in your fingers the way you've rolled it on. So just do that. I've left mine, it's too wet. But never mind, hang on, let's just sort that out. So I'm not doing it again. It is a bit gooey-fied, but never mind. I'll just do it like that first. My fingers are all gooed up, that's like sticking to my fingers. Like that. Rip that off, not bothered. It's all going to get coated in paint and glue. Or alcohol inks and glue, that's it. You've just got that on like that. And roll it around. And then what you do is you dip that into your glue. And use a brush to dip it halfway and use a brush to totally coat that. Now you really must let that dry. You need to let that dry. Point it. And then let that dry. Okay, so you've got that. Now, because I haven't got time, I'm using the dryer. Just dry it off, best you can. I hope you can see this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the alcohol ink and I'm just going to drop little bits onto that. That's colouring my... And these can be any colour you want. No wand. There's no right or wrong colour for a wand. It's completely up to you. So now I've got that, I need to dry that. It is bubbling a little bit, you know that technique my granddaughter does with the glue and the alcohol ink, so it does bubble a little bit. That's fine, but that'll harden and give it a little bit more character when it's done. So I can show my heat gun was heating up. Let me just check that. Yep, it's still, see, it's tacky. You need to, whoopsie daisy. I've taken that off. I shouldn't have touched it until it cooled down, but it doesn't matter because you can go over that and reheat that. I need that to cool down. Okay. But while it, see, I've taken it off like that. Not let it cool properly. Never mind, we'll just colour that bit. Colour the end bit. Just colour it back up. No harm that. Ooh, getting that all over. Heat it back up. You have to let it dry properly. That's the only thing. But like I say, once you've done that, what you can do then, let me just put the lid on this. take your rub and buff. I'm just using a bit of the gold. And, you know, put it over it. And you do get that Gothic-y look. Like that. I'm just going to push that back on. That's it, on there. And then when that's completely dried, then you can either leave it like that, or you can use your pliers and just bend the whole thing. The other thing is to, I'm just going to put a little bit of gold onto the bead. Whoops. Like that. Just to make it a little bit different. Oh, it's coming down, but it needs to be glued back in, but I'm not bothered about that. All things are fixable. Let's pop a little bit more glue on there. And then we just push that bead back up. Right. And there you go. You've got your Gothic. Where have I put the other one? Your Gothic wand. So I hope that helps. I mean, obviously I'm rushing because I'm doing a tutorial, but you know, you would do each stage and let it dry. That's the best thing to do. That's it, you know. But you know, they're great. They're fabulous. You can colour these with alcohol as well. Whatever you want to do with them. And I just think they're ace. I think it's fabulous what you can make out of a stick pin and a bit of tissue paper, a bit of wire and a bead. So I hope that helps. Have a go, see what you can come up with, and if you do make them, you can make them with you know, put a little bit of chain on, let it dangle down with a bead. Your wand can be however you want it to be. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some on that one. So I'm just going to pop the lids back on my things because these dry out. And just show you that. I've got this stuff everywhere. Look. But I'm just going to get a little bit of chain. I need a little loop. Let's get a ring. So just take one of these. Yeah, that'll do. So, and what I've got is, now where did I put them? I don't even know where my tub's up here. Yeah, there we are. Let's have a look. Ooh, a little bit of... got to choose the right colour chain, of course. Right, well, I'm not having... No, not got the one I'm after, so I'm just going to get one here. I want to keep all my chainy bits. I just want some of the right colour. Okay, let's do that. I'll just snip a bit of this off. I only need a small piece. Like that. Pop the chain on it. Take hold of the pin. You might need to open it up a little bit. Pop that around the neck. Use your pliers. I can see it. Just close that up a little bit. I can't do it with my pliers, I have to do it with my fingers. I can't blooming well see. Yeah, I've done it. So I've got my little bit of chain on, and then I need another one of those. So I'm just going to get one. Just a small one. My fingers are all gunged up. Just to do that. Let me just take hold of, no, where have I put it? My little box, there we are. I need a little pin for a bead. Oops, opened it wrong way. I've got one here. Not that one. A little flat one. Oh, I haven't got the right colour one out at the moment, but I'll just use this one. So what I'm going to do is just take hold of a bead. Let's have a, oh, shall we have a one of these? Because these are gorgeous. They're crystal. I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut it for the size I want it. Use my small small nose pliers to make the loop. Make sure that's pinned together. Pin that on there. Take the one with the chain. And my hands are all gunged up. Oopsie daisy, come on. There we go. I need to just squash them back together. Like that. And there, look. And I've got myself a little wand that can go on a project. I hope that's helpful. I hope you try it. Please, if you're new to this sort of thing, you need patience. You need time and you need patience. Don't panic if it goes wrong. You can always put it right. But look. Aren't they fab? Now that's dry enough now. I'm going to use my pliers, these round nose ones, just to put a bit of a kink in it, because that's how I like it. Like that. See? And I've got my little wands. You don't need to do it too much. But there you go. And I've got my little wands. So I hope that helps, and I hope you try it. Because you make anything when you think about it. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.